And then you got a cab, took the cab to JFK, and then flew to your mother's house in Denver.
Telluride. My mother lives in Telluride, and that was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Look, in the cab, on the way to the airport, I checked my bank balance, and it's supposed to have $4 million in it, but the bank balance said 0. And there was a note saying to contact the Justice Department.
I just want to mention that my client has voluntarily checked herself into a 28-day rehab, and she's been clean and sober for 2 years.
I don't care. Were the women that work for you call girls?
No, sir.
You never exchanged sex for money?
No.
Have you ever exchanged sex for money?
No.
I think he was talking to me.
I mean, no, she's not going to answer that question. Look, the purpose of this meeting...
I know.
The purpose of
Off
this...
the record.
We're not off the record.
You see a stenographer in here?
Look, we're off the record in as much as there is no record. Now, you're free to use the information that's given, but we're not giving information for free. Look, I've been sitting at this table for 5 hours waiting for the opportunity to implore you to do the right thing. All the while asking my client, begging my client for 3 weeks to act in her own best interest. Neither of these things should be hard. Okay, look, the purpose of this meeting is for you to meet Molly Bloom and for you to see, just as I have, that she is not the person that the press has invented.
She's not under federal indictment for bad press, Charlie. And the purpose of this meeting for me is to find out if your client is willing to cooperate and putting away some bad people.
No.
You're not willing to cooperate?
No. I never had traded sex for money. Still not sure if there's a record. But if there is, I still wanted to be certain that that was in it.
It appears that throughout your career as a game runner, you've been extremely diligent in betting players.
I was.
When you let 4 players play without knowing they were involved?
Yeah, plus an FBI informant. It was embarrassing. I was high at the end and doing my job badly. I'll also add that in my limited experience at the Russian mob, they don't immediately present themselves as mobsters. My experience with the Italian mob, however...
Help us.
I don't know how to help you.
You do. You can provide color. You can paint a picture. You can tell us that Drinksky was wearing $100,000 Protect Philippe and drove a Phantom. You can tell us that Eli Gershon walked in with $250,000 cash in a backpack. Or you can tell us how much action Shelley was taking in the back on sports bets.
No one was allowed to play inside the room. They would have to go outside, so I had no idea how much they were taking or...
So now you're saying you knew they were making and taking sports bets?
No, that's the part of going outside. They could have been calling their mom for all I know.
Molly?
Yes, sir.
I don't believe you. In Mike David's phone intercepts alone, just David's, your name comes up 19 times. We need Molly. Get Molly. Bring Molly. It strongly suggests you're extremely important to his business, so it's hard for me to believe that someone with your savvy and obvious intellect...
You're talking about the drug. Get Molly. Bring Molly. Need Molly. They're talking about the drug ecstasy.
Shoot. Your office has been next to mine for what? 2 years? Now, mind you, I have seen you make some boneheaded moves before, but never have I seen any prosecutor move in the way you just did. You better thank all the gods that there is no physical evidence of that exchange.
Hey, look.
Now you look.
What, are you going to employ me to do the right thing?
Employee to do the... She does not belong in a mob indictment. Are you out of your minds? She doesn't belong in a RICO indictment. Look, she wrote the game. That's it. And for 2 years and 7 months, and why? Because she was given credit in the millions and she didn't want to use muscle to collect? Look, she has had opportunity after opportunity to greatly benefit herself just by telling the real stories that she knows. Look, I've got forensic imaging going back to 2007. I'm talking about text messages, emails, movie stars, rock stars, billionaires, all explicit, some married with kids. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. What about the one guy who comes this close to becoming the U.S. ambassador in Monaco? He's withdrawn from consideration at the last minute. No one knows why. She does. You have CEOs with college-age mistresses, an SVP of an investment bank who calls and says to put a marked deck in the game, owner of a movie studio who calls also to say that a particular movie star is too black for his liking. I mean, J. Edgar didn't have this much shit on Bobby. She could have written a bestseller and been set for life. Easy. She's got the winning lottery ticket and she won't cash it. You took every bit of money that she has in a constitutionally fucked up seizure. And then you placed the IRS on her to tax what she had left. Look, I've never been a part of any strategy meetings, but you basically broke her back, so much so to the point where she can't even possibly defend herself. Now she has the opportunity to guarantee her freedom and provide color. And she still won't do it. This woman does not belong in a RICO indictment case. She belongs on a box of Wheaties. So yes, Harrison, I am imploring you to do the right thing. Look, she knows nothing about three-piece, nothing about Ragnayada, nothing about RGLs or insurance fraud. Look, between you and I, we've appeared in front of this judge 28 times, and not once has he ever deviated from our sentencing and recommendation. So he's not going to start now. I know that you've been putting together this bus for what, 3 years? And there is nobody who wants to see mobsters get put away, especially the one who has had one of them put a gun in her mouth. Probation, community service, or better yet, how about we just call for what it is, that she was running a poker game the exact same way that every casino does in America, and just drop the damn charges.